Well, I think I'm trying to collect them at the moment. Of course, so many emotions and such an intense battle. So I'm really proud of how I fought and I held my own out there.
Center Court, the All England Club. The grass is immaculate. The roof is open, letting in the golden light of a perfect London afternoon. And a 21-year-old from Quezon City has just played the match of her life. She didn't win. The scoreboard reads 6-4, 4-6, 6-3 in favor of Jasmine Paolini. The dream run that captivated the tennis world has come to an end after 2 hours and 22 minutes of gripping tennis. But in defeat, Alexandra Eala has done something far more powerful than any victory could have achieved. She has won every heart in center court. As she walks to the net to shake Paolini's hand, the crowd rises, not a polite applause, a standing ovation, a roar that shakes the hallowed grounds of SW19. The same crowd that had been on the edge of their seats for over 2 hours is now on their feet, cheering for the woman who lost. Because in tennis, sometimes the scoreboard doesn't tell the whole story. Sometimes the player who walks off the court in defeat is the one who leaves the greatest legacy. This is the story of that match. This is the story of how Alexandra Eala lost the battle but won every tennis fan's heart. Let's begin. To understand why the crowd gave Eala a standing ovation in defeat, you have to understand what she had already achieved and what she did on that court against Jasmine Paolini. Just 2 days earlier, Eala had done the unthinkable. She had beaten Iga Swiatek, the defending champion, the 6-time Grand Slam winner, on center court. She had become the first player from the Philippines to reach the 4th round of a Grand Slam in the Open era. She had made history. Now, standing across the net was Jasmine Paolini, the 13th seed, the 2024 Wimbledon finalist, a woman who knew exactly what it took to win on this surface. The match was a battle from the very first point. Paolini struck first, breaking Eala's serve in the 4th game to seize a 4-1 lead. Eala refused to fold. She erased set points and broke back, raising hopes of stealing the set. But Paolini immediately responded with another break, sealing the first set 6-4. The second set was a statement. Eala came out aggressively. She broke Paolini's serve to move ahead 2-1. Paolini broke straight back, but Eala broke again to edge ahead 4-3. With the match on a knife edge, Paolini surged to a 0-40 lead on Eala's serve. But the Filipina displayed remarkable composure, reeling off 5 consecutive points to erase the 3 break points and hold for a commanding 5-3 advantage. She confidently served out the set to force a decider, but in the 3rd set, Paolini's experience ultimately prevailed. At 3-4 down, Eala double-faulted at precisely the wrong time. One long forehand later, and Paolini was serving for the match, which she secured after an enthralling 2-hour, 21-minute contest. The final score read 6-4, 4-6, 6-3. Eala had lost, but she had fought until the very end, and the crowd knew they had witnessed something special. The match was over, but the moment that would capture the world's hearts was just beginning. The on-court interviewer walked up to Eala. She was still catching her breath, still processing the defeat, still processing the journey that had brought her here. And then she spoke. In a 3-minute, 33-second post-match interview that she started as an emotional wreck, Alex Eala let the world know what the path that got her this far was all about. She first rattled off the names of the Williams sisters and Swiatek, saying that making the 4th round of Wimbledon may seem small to them. And then she dropped the phrase that broke the internet. For someone who grew up in the Philippines, I went to train with my brother and my grandfather every day after school with my ruffled socks, my light-up shoes, and chubby cheeks. To her, this is everything. The words hung in the air like a thunderclap. The crowd, which included some of England's royalty, gave her a standing ovation and a long applause. The tennis world was stunned, not by the loss, but by the vulnerability, the humanity. The reminder that behind the rankings, behind the headlines, behind the hype, there is a young woman who is still processing the magnitude of what she has achieved. Eala later told a packed media room, It's an honor to be able to pave the way for young girls. It would be the honor of my life to be able to inspire others." The clip went viral within hours. Social media exploded. Fans around the world were moved to tears. A 21-year-old from a country with no tennis tradition had just shown the world what it truly means to be a champion, in victory and in defeat. The standing ovation from center court was not just for the match Eala had just played. It was for everything she had done over the past week. For every barrier she had broken, for every heart she had touched. Wimbledon's official account posted a standing ovation from center court. The loss did not diminish Eala's historic campaign on tennis's most grandiose stage. In another trailblazing bid, Eala became the first Filipino to reach the round of 16 in a Grand Slam singles tournament. She had unseeded defending champion Iga Swiatek in straight sets on Saturday. She had made history. The crowd that had been on the edge of their seats for over 2 hours was now on their feet. They clapped, they cheered, they waved. They knew they had witnessed something that would be remembered for generations. The standing ovation was more than just applause. It was a recognition of everything Eala represented. A young woman from a country with no grass court tradition who had walked onto center court and conquered the biggest stage in tennis. A player who had carried the hopes of 112 million Filipinos on her shoulders and refused to let them down. The crowd has fallen in love with Eala, the on-court interviewer noted, and the world had fallen in love with her. The reaction to Eala's defeat and her emotional post-match interview was immediate and overwhelming. Billie Jean King, the 39-time Grand Slam champion and founder of the WTA, had already embraced Eala after her victory over Swiatek. Now, she watched as the young Filipina showed the world what it truly means to be a champion in defeat. "What a treat to spend some time with Alex Eala, fresh off her historic win at Wimbledon today," King posted. "She is the first Filipino to reach the round of 16. Such an inspiration for kids in the Philippines and all over the world. Keep going for it, Alex." Roger Federer was also in the stands, watching from the royal box. The 8-time Wimbledon winner had seen it all, but even he was moved by what he witnessed. Maria Sharapova, Eala's childhood idol, also weighed in. "What a star," she commented. Jasmine Paolini herself, the woman who had ended Eala's run, had nothing but praise. "It was a tough match. Alex, she's really a tough opponent, especially here on grass. I think her game is perfect here," the 30-year-old said. "It was really tough, a roller coaster," Paolini added. Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. celebrated Eala's run, calling it a true inspiration. The entire nation had rallied behind her. Nurses from Birmingham, engineers from Berlin, students from Melbourne, families from Toronto, each one carrying a flag, each one chanting her name. The social media tributes poured in by the thousands. The phrase "Ealamania" continued to trend across platforms. Fans shared videos of her post-match interview, each one accompanied by tears and messages of gratitude. Eala had not just made history, she had inspired a generation, and the world was watching. The defeat to Paolini was not the end of Alexandra Eala's story, it was just the beginning. Despite the loss, Eala walked away with a career-best Wimbledon performance and prize money worth €300,000 for reaching the 4th round. She is projected to improve her career-best ranking of number 29 when the WTA updates its rankings. But the victory was about more than rankings and prize money. It was about belief. It was about validation. It was about showing the world that a 21-year-old from a country with no grass court tradition could conquer the biggest stage in tennis. "Because I am emotional doesn't mean I am satisfied," Eala had said after her victory over Swiatek. "Okay, next round. Let's go." She wasn't satisfied. She wanted more. And now she had proven that she belonged among the best in the world. "I try to be as authentic as I can. I believe in being genuine. I believe in my values," she said. "So this exposure, this platform that I have, has really allowed me to self-reflect. It allows me to become the best version of myself." Eala is no longer just a tennis player. She is a movement, a symbol of hope, a symbol of what is possible when you refuse to give up. She is the newest national treasure back home, in a country that has rallied behind her like never before. Everyone has days when they don't play their best tennis. I understand that's part of the job. I don't think I'm going to be playing the best tennis of my life every single day. I don't expect that, Eala said with refreshing honesty. The loss to Paolini was not a failure. It was a stepping stone, a reminder that even the most magical runs must come to an end. A reminder that the journey is just as important as the destination. Eala lost the match, but she won every tennis fan's heart. And that, my friends, is a victory that will last forever. Eala NPY line at Kernihe, etc. And that, my friends, is how a 21-year-old from Quezon City walked onto center court, lost the match, but won the hearts of millions. She fought until the very end. She cried tears of gratitude. She dedicated her journey to the little girl with ruffled socks and light-up shoes. And when she walked off the court, the entire stadium rose to its feet. The standing ovation said everything. Billie Jean King called her an inspiration. Roger Federer watched from the royal box. Maria Sharapova called her a star. The tennis world was stunned. The fans were moved. And one thing is certain, Alexandra Eala has arrived, and she is just getting started. This is the rise of a phenomenon. This is the rewriting of tennis history. And trust me, this is only the beginning.